evening, all you sim race fans out there, and welcome to BRL TV's Round 7 coverage of the Bootleg Racing League Street Stock Series, Season 27. I am Ryan Sanker. Joining me up in the booth, as always, is Matt Hoos, and tonight we also have Elliot Lang with us. We're coming to you live tonight from the virtual South Boston Speedway over in Virginia, and we thank you for joining us on this Saturday evening, August 11th, 2023. Back in 1994, a racing revolution was born known as the Bootleg Racing Series. Powered by Papyrus sim racing software and fueled by the thrill of short track racing, BRS burst onto the scene, leaving tire tracks of excitement in its wake. But when the curtains fell on Papyrus, the heart-pounding action of BRS seemed destined to fade away. However, like a phoenix rising from the actions, the series returned with a vengeance in 2013, emerging as the all-new Bootleg Racing League, ready to dominate the sim racing world once again. Now embracing the iRacing platform, BRL unleashed its full potential, taking on the most iconic American short tracks with a renewed passion. And that brings us to where we find ourselves tonight. South Boston Speedway, or SOBO, was built back in 1957 and has been historically known for its modified racing scene although in more recent years it primarily hosted late model stock races. One of the shorter tracks in BRL visits throughout the season, SOBO is only 0.4 miles in length, has 12-degree banked in the corners, and it only drops down to 10 degrees on the straightaways. As always, tonight's starting grid will be determined by a 15-car inversion based on last week's finishing order. That means the top finishers from the previous race will have to work their way up through the field. There's also no fast repairs and no tire changes, so the drivers will take care of their equipment as the night goes on. And lastly, this season brought the addition of a single green-white checkered attempt. If the caution flag is displayed during the end of the night, the race will be extended for a thrilling shootout to the checkered flag. And now, with all the formalities out of the way, welcome again to South Boston and into the world of BRL, where speed is king and victory is the ultimate prize. So Matt, what are we expecting to see here tonight?
Well, good evening, everybody. Thanks for joining us here at SOBO. Tonight here at SOBO, I think we're going to see a good race. This is one of the original tracks here on iRacing, and it's been here since I joined back in 2009. So all these guys on this track right now have had plenty of laps here, which is going to lead to good racing because everybody knows how to run this track, so there is no excuse of I haven't had enough time here. Elliot?
Yeah, Matt, from what I've seen, it has been very close on the lap times. Some people have shown a clear advantage, while others are seeming to lack down on the pace.
Other than that, we got roughly 90 seconds till we grid up, so let me take you through our championship points as we are going into we are 6 rounds into the season, starting round number 7 tonight. Jeffrey Harden continues to lead in the standings with an 8-point lead over John Wilson. After a quiet podium from Joe Segala last week, Segala sits only 5 points behind Wilson, with Flowers starting to falter going into the second half of the season. Steve Hilbert, who snagged his first league win last week, well, he rounds out the top 5 with his brother Tom 9 points behind him. And it is worth knowing that Steve is not here tonight. He is still out celebrating his win from last week. It is a heck of a rager, let me tell you. Further back, we can see Bruce Pearson and Donnie Moore very close together, battling for 7th, only 3 points between each of them. And series rookies Brian Johnson and Marino Valente round out the top 10. As Matt hinted at, this is one of the older tracks on the iRacing service. If I can talk tonight, man, words are hard. It is one of the older tracks on the iRacing service. That means there is no excuse. There is no, I didn't buy the track yet. I don't have enough laps on this track yet. Every driver knows South Boston like the back of their hand, and they are going to show you that skill tonight. Also worth noting, we do have J.R. Shepard, Different Path Motorsports. He is here tonight. He has been part-time on Friday night scheduling. And tonight, he is gracing us with his presence, so he should have a good time racing his way up through the field. And with that, Matt, what is passing like on South Boston?
Well, passing's kind of tricky here. You're trying to get that run off the bottom, obviously, on somebody. But these cars really have a tendency to get loose, so you really got to be easy on the throttle from center off. Later in the race, the high line will work if you're in traffic a little bit, but predominantly you're going to see people running that bottom. They're going to try sticking that left front down onto the apron coming off the corner to try to stick the front of that nose up under the car.
Well, that should bring some exciting passes for sure. Let's take you through tonight's starting grid. Starting on the pole tonight is Brian Johnson, the 00 team's or Texas Speed Sim Racing, Justin Walbring, I believe, is outside in second place. Brandon Litz, number 99, will he be starting in third with Tom Hilbert in 61 to his outside. Row number 3, Marino Valente and Donnie Moore. Row 4, John Wilson and Joe Segala. Then row number 5, that'll be Jeffrey Harden, the current points leader, and J.R. Shepard, who knows how many times season champion in the 98. And rounding out tonight's 12-car field, well, that'll be Chris Davis and Ray Andrews.
Yeah, while we got a small field here tonight, I would not expect anything less than some action-packed racing tonight, even with 12 cars. It only takes 2 to have a good race, and we got 12 of them.
Yeah, truer words have never been spoken, and it's nice to see 2 rookies up front on the front row, Brian Johnson, Justin Walbring. We've had a lot of PRL rookies showing up. So it's really keeping the Friday nights alive. Good to see them. Glad to have you guys here.
Yeah, you know, this is a good series to get started with here. In fact, that's what we do. If anybody is interested in the BRL, check us out here. You start off in this series, you get invited to different series. The super late model is open, but right now that's closed because we got a lot of drivers in there. But you can get on a waiting list to join. That type of stuff. It's a good lead to run with here.
All right, pace car has peeled off. It is on Johnson and Double O. Looks at 27 beat him to the punch, though. 27 jumps out ahead. Johnson had a late start. I can't believe I'm going to say this, but the leader caught himself napping. But he's looking to charge back up, and Johnson retakes the lead as Walbring falls far back in the field. I wonder if he got black flagged on that one, as he is coming down pit road.
Yeah, I'm not sure on that start there if Walbring jumped it or Brian that just didn't go yet at that point.
It is very possible in the Street Stocks to miss a shift, and that might be exactly what we saw there. As Marino Valente in the 53 went sideways, no caution has come out, but he did slide all the way down onto pit road, which is unfortunate.
There was contact between him and the 36, sent him spinning.
Here, we'll bring that back out there. You see the 36 right there in the black and blue, the 53 up in front of him. That is Marino Valente. Looks like Valente got a little loose there, had to check up, and Hilbert. Harden was not ready for that.
Yeah, that happens at this track here. These cars are already loose, and if you drop that left side tire onto that apron and you're not expecting to do that, it can get you loose really bad. However, you will notice guys running down there, dipping the left under there a little bit, especially later in the race to help the car turn a little bit.
Well, all this shuffling did a lot of favors for such drivers as Harden, Shepard, and Davis, as they are all up 7 spots from where they started already. There you see Davis trying to work his way around the 99 of Brandon Litz. And as we have 7 laps in the book so far, Valente and Walbring have gone down pit road and stayed down pit road. They put it on the trailer very early.
The 99 of Brandon Litz seems to be already using up his tires dramatically. These past couple laps, he has been loose on the exit of every corner more than everyone else.
Yeah, there you see the 99 got loose again. 26 of Donnie Moore gave him a little shove from behind, not expecting that sudden checkup, and here comes John Wilson getting under him. Litz is definitely struggling on this track tonight. Very, very loose-looking car.
Yeah, what happens here is if you get a little bit loose in these things, that right rear will get hot, and then it will continue to get hot in the next corner and the next corner until you can kind of get in a spot where you can slow it down a little bit and run some smooth laps to cool that right rear off.
Update on Marino Valente, then number 53, he has rejoined the track. He is back out and running, but he is 3 laps down. I think 3 cautions is a lot to ask out of a 50 lap feature, but we'll hope for the best. I will say good on Valente for coming back out and finishing regardless. I love it when a driver comes back out knowing they're not going to win and they still just complete their laps. Always great to see that.
Well, you know, more laps on the track is more practice, whether your lap's down or on the lead lap. More wheel time.
Well, exactly that. The only way to get better at this is seat time, and the only way to get seat time is to get out on that track. So good on Marino Valente. 11 cars still running, 10 on the lead lap. Jeffrey Hart, our current points leader, is being hunted by J.R. Shepard and Chris Davis. as they all try to work over the leader, Brian Johnson, who's continued to lead the entire time.
Notice there on the back of the lead pack, the 26 of Donnie Moore seems to be closing up to this top 4 in their extensive battle.
Yeah, I think this is what we would call the proverbial cork in the bottle, is what we would call the 00 here, as he seems to be slowing the pace of the 36, 98, and the 7, and that is allowing Donnie Moore to catch up. Sizable gap is starting to form between John Wilson and Joe Segala, who's working around Brandon Litz. I think that was another situation of a cork, as Segala just got around the 99, and I expect to see him close up on Wilson here shortly.
The 98 has passed the 36, and the 7 has followed him through.
Yep, 98 and 7 got around Harden, and that allowed Moore to completely close up. It is now a 5-way battle for the lead. And this is where you're going to see what J.R. Shepherd is best known for. His passes sometimes seem impossible, how fast he can make that car react and how fast he can get his nose under your car before you even know he's there.
I think with what I'm seeing with Harden right now, he didn't fight JR or Chris. He kind of just moved out of the way. I think he's just, he's got another championship in mind, and we are on week 6 of 11, I believe, or 7.
This is round number 7. We are officially in the second half.
Yeah, so we're on round 7 of 11, so he's thinking championship at this point. So I think he's just trying to get a top 5 because he knows that the people right around him, as long as they're behind him, he just keeps extending that lead.
Now, this top 3, they are all very accustomed with each other, all 3 of which being full-time drivers in the Saturday Night BRL Sportsman League.
Yep, most of these drivers all race together. The Super Lates, immediately after this one, they all race together in the Sportsman Series and the late model stocks tomorrow night. So they are well aware of how each other react. And there, just like that, Shepherd got his nose inside, took the lead away from the 00, and I think that is going to open the door, as here comes Chris Davis and Jeff Harden.
The 00 was able to hold it for quite a while around the outside there.
Oh, you can definitely run the outside of Sobo, but the thing is, the longer you're out there, the hotter those tires are going to get, and the sloppier that car is going to handle. So I would say 20 laps in the books. It's a little early to really commit yourself to battling on the outside right now. The only driver Harden wouldn't want him to, I cannot talk tonight. The only driver Harden should be keeping an eye on is John Wilson in the 75, as those two are the running first and second in the points. So I imagine if the 75 is able to close up at 36, you're going to see him run some defensive lines.
Yeah, Wilson's pretty good here. He's I've seen him in practices we've done during the week. He's getting better. The one thing that Wilson struggles with is keeping that right front tire. He tends to burn that right front tire off. I know he's working on that, and that is improving. So this could be the week that he crosses that line to save that right front by the end of this race.
The 00 of Brian Johnson seems to have been using up his tires chasing down the 98, as he is starting to be pressured more and more by the 7 and the 26.
Yeah, I'm willing to bet as these laps count down and the pay window opens, you're going to see the 7 and the 26 be a little more aggressive, a little more daring in their maneuvers trying to get around the 00. And you can see the rear of that Johnson car right there just kicking out in the corners ever so slightly, and that's just getting more and more heat in. There's Marino Valente letting all the lead lap cars go by.
Doing a good job there, staying out of the way.
Ooh, hard contact with the outside wall for Donnie Moore. That allowed Harden to reclaim that 4th spot.
Yeah, he broke loose there and had that quick snap effect that you hate to get as a driver.
Yeah, but at South Boston, I'd rather snap to the outside than slide to the inside, because if you catch it just right on exit, you're going to go all the way down pit road, as Valente did earlier. Johnson continues to hold on to the 2nd place, keeping pace with J.R. Shepherd, but as Shepherd likes to remind us, usually he gets out into the lead and he maintains the gap instead of running his pace. So that might be what JR is doing, just in case Davis, Harden, and Moore come up to challenge him.
I'm actually surprised at how clean they've been so far, considering in practice, they were dropping like flies.
Looks like Joe Segala started to put some pressure to John Wilson going for 6th spot. There you see Segala dive down low, getting a nose to the inside. 75 letting him have it. Obviously not feeling very comfortable on the track tonight, as he is not battling and he is falling off of Donnie Moore. Back up front. Oh, go ahead, Matt.
To touch on what Elliott said there, you know, surprisingly we haven't had any cautions here, stuff like that. Yeah, this is one of those tracks that you never know what you're going to get when you get here, because it's a small track, it's narrow, and you always hope you don't get the dreaded big crash, because if you do, the whole track gets clogged and there's nowhere to go. But this is not that tonight. We're having a good clean race. It's one of them odd ones here for South Boston.
Yeah, usually it is what is known as the proverbial parking lot.
Yeah, but I will say this is more typical what you see in a Bootleg Racing League race, is a lot of drivers being very considerate, very patient, waiting for an opening. No one's really pushing it quite yet, as we have 15 laps to go, except Jeffrey Harden has caught the rear bumper of Chris Davis, and it looks like Harden might be trying to get back on that podium.
You know, I think like what you were saying there, how these guys here at BRL, it's clean guys. Oh, Harden was trying to make a pass there.
Stuck his nose in.
Dave's getting very, very loose.
We got a bunch of clean guys running here, but with the implement of this season taking away that fast repair, that's even made a difference. We, some of the guys were worried about being wrecked out early in the race and not having that fast repair to fall on, but it's made the drivers drive a little more mindful, a little safer.
Oh,
it looks like
Hart.
26 round.
Yeah, and he went down a pit road. He is able to save it and got back running, but he lost a lot of spots as he rejoins back in 7th. And that actually started with a little bump from Jeffrey Harden to Chris Davis, letting Davis know he was there and wanted to go around. Well, that bump also checked Harden up just enough for Moore to get to the inside as Harden was coming back down the track, leading to more caution. But a nice save from Donnie Moore in the 26. Ten laps to go at the line. Jeffrey Harden still holding on to 4th place. J.R. Shepard out front has started to stretch that lead out as he knows the end is in sight. Nothing to say for at this point as we have 10 to go. He now has a 1.7 second lead on Brian Johnson, who's doing a great job holding on to 2nd place. He has really run away from Chris Davis, who is 2 seconds behind him.
Yeah, Brian's done a good job tonight, running his line, running nice and smooth. Really impressive.
Looking back in 5th and 6th, you can see the 81 and the 75 closing up to 3rd and 4th.
Yep, the battle between Harden and Davis has not cooled down at all, as the pay window is open and Harden knows it. And I think at this point, the 7 is really getting loose. You know those tires are really getting hot, and Harden is just getting impatient, being stuck behind him. And that has, as Elliot pointed out, allowed the 75 and the 81 to close right up on Harden's bumper.
You see the 7 almost spinning it in every corner.
Well, they don't call him Mr. Aggressive because he's a patient, calm driver.
So point out that the 36 is looking to go around the outside.
Yeah, I think Harden has decided enough is enough, and he is trying to get around Chris Davis, but Davis is holding a solid line. Harden holding it inside, just like we were worried about, holding it on the apron.
Close to the wall there by the 36.
Yeah, that was a near miss if I've ever seen one. 7 continues to hold that position really, really loose as more
got a little loose.
As the field just stacks up behind these two. If there is going to be a caution, this is where it's going to happen. As this is getting really aggressive. You saw 7 had to lock it up to hold that inside line. Checked up all 3 drivers behind him. Now 36 says it's time to go, and he threw it into the corner to take that last podium spot away.
7 still super loose there.
Yeah, he is crazy loose, and
contact between the 81 and 75 sends the 75 into the pits.
Yeah, but he's off the racing line. No caution. Very unfortunate for John Wilson, stuck down there as you just saw the leader come around. White flag is out. J.R. Shepard has a almost 4-second lead on Brian Johnson, who now has a very strong lead of himself over Jeffrey Harden. Coming around to take the final lap is J.R. Shepard. Takes that checkered flag. Different path motorsports than number 98. A nice, calm, quiet race from J.R. Shepard. Everything we expect out of a championship driver.
Oh, what a finish between the 51 and the 26. 26 sends the 81 around on turn 4. It was a dead heat between those two.
Yeah, it looked like the 81 got into the back of the 7, had to check up. 26 got into him.
Oh, that was a very close battle. Yeah, I saw the 81 tapped Chris Davis, who's continuing to do everything he can to hold on to that spot. And this time, looks like the 81 paid the price. All right, and with that, we are going to take a quick break. We're going to let iRacing timing scoring get all caught up. We'll be back to go through your official race results and talk to your podium finishers. Don't go far. And welcome back to round 7, season 27 with the BRL Street Stock Series. Tonight's big winner, J.R. Shepard, Different Path Motorsports. He came home up 9 spots from where he had to start. Brian Johnson, Texas Speed Sim Racing. Well, rookie of the season, he just held on to a nice, solid second place ahead of Jeffrey Harden, who came home in 3rd. Still a great points night for Harden. Chris Davis did everything he could to hold on to whatever position he could keep his hands on. He's going to come home in 4th. Donnie Moore rounds out your top 5. Ray Andrews comes home in 6th. Joe Segala, unfortunately, at the end, got a little tap there and knocked down to the inside of the track. He's going to come home in 7th. Tom Hilbert in 8th. Brandon Litz in 9th. And John Wilson, another unfortunate incident for him as he comes home 1 lap down, rounding out your top 10. And rounding out tonight's field is Marino Valente and Justin Walbring, 11th and 12th. With that, I have caught up with tonight's big winner, J.R. Shepard. J.R., it seemed like a pretty uneventful night for you.
Yeah, a little strange. The beginning of the race worked out in my favor. I'm not sure what exactly happened on the start there, but there was an opening, and I kind of went for it and ended up paying off. So got a lot of track position early, so that made a huge difference because after that, I just went straight to tire saving mode. I knew that this car was going to be free, especially at the end of the race, and you gotta save that rear tire. So that's what I started doing.
Yeah, we saw a lot of drivers getting really, really loose on corner exit, which is pretty normal for South Boston, the street stocks. Now, were you thinking this was going to go flag to flag, or were you expecting a couple restarts in here?
I was expecting at least 1 or 2 restarts, even for a 50-lap race. There's there's usually contact and things that happen, but one of the things about South Boston is that if the spin or the wreck happens on the apron, the caution doesn't come out. So a lot of that tends to happen here, and didn't have any major accidents out on the track. So yeah, a little bit surprising, but that just made saving tires all the more important.
This season, you've been running kind of a part-time schedule on Fridays. Are we going to see you next week in the Street Stocks for Southern National?
I'm planning to be here unless something pops up. Just trying to do a lot of family stuff this season, so never know. But right now, I plan to be here.
All right, family first. Can't argue with that. And who do you have to thank for this win tonight?
Yeah, just thanks to the Bootleg Racing League for giving us a place to come out and have fun on the weekends and have enjoyable racing. My team, Different Path Motorsports, and of course everything that you guys are doing up in the BRL TV broadcast booth, guys. We really appreciate it.
All right, JR, great job, and we'll see you down the road. Good luck in the Supers.
Yep, thanks, Ryan.
That was JR Shepard, our big winner tonight. And let's see if we do have second place. There he is, Brian Johnson. And I'll hand off to you, Elliot, to interview your buddy.
Now, Brian, you started off on the pole here. What did that feel like?
I was pretty scared.
Fair enough. Though you did show excellent pace today, but you were helped out there by the 27 getting that black flag. Did you realize that he had passed you at all? Were you surprised by him just dropping out?
No, I wasn't really sure if I could go before I got the green, so I was just waiting for the flagman to give me a sign to go, and as soon as the flagman dropped the green, I went.
Yeah, you were showing excellent pace today, leading for nearly half the race. What was being chased down by the legend that is JR Shepard like?
I really don't think there's any way I can compete with JR. I was just trying to follow where he went and stay as close to him as possible. He's an incredible racer, and he definitely deserves all those race wins that he gets. And I knew he was probably gonna pass me eventually. I was just gonna hold him off as long as I could and go as fast as I could for as long as I could. I love these cars. I love all the cars that I race in. I love racing here at BRL. I'm just having a lot of fun.
Alright, yeah, that is true. BRL is an amazing league, and you had an amazing race. Do you have anyone you'd like to thank tonight for this podium?
I would like to thank first and foremost my supervisor. I mean my wife. Thank you so much for letting me race and putting up with me building this rig and setting it up in our home office. I'd like to thank Texas Speed Sim Racing, and there's a few guys there that I've been friends with for 15 years. Great group of guys. They helped me get back into sim racing after a 4-year break. I'm just loving every minute of this. I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible. And thank you guys for broadcasting. Thank Lowell for putting it on. You guys are all amazing. Thank you so much.
All right, and that is Brian Johnson. Back to you, Ryan.
All right, with that, I have caught up with our third place finisher, Jeffrey Harden. Jeff, another great points night. How was the car feeling out there?
Oh, the car felt good, man. I really like Sobo.
Now, talk me through getting around Chris Davis, because I could feel your frustration through the camera. It looked like you've had enough of him about 10 laps before you got around him.
Well, I like racing with Chris. I mean, it's a lot of fun. He's a challenge to pass. But, man, the net code was bad. I think I had 3 or 4 different net codes with him and a couple with other guys. So, I mean, I think I almost dumped him twice just off a net code. But, yeah, it was hard to get around. I tried top, bottom, going back and forth. It was hard.
All right, now with another great points night, I think, yeah, you extended even further. You were 8 points ahead of Wilson when he came into this, and he had an unfortunate night at the end there, so you extended even further. What's your plans going forward into Southern National next week?
Just try and stay out of trouble. That's another tight little track, and a lot of stuff can happen real quick. So, trying to finish in the top 5 would be good there.
All right, Jeff. Well, great run tonight. And who do you have to thank for this podium?
I'd like to thank my wife, as always. Thank my internet for holding up, and thank you guys up in the booth.
All right, Jeff. We'll see you down the road, and good luck in the Supers.
All right, thanks, man. Have a good broadcast.
That was Jeffrey Harden, our current points leader. He came home in 3rd place tonight. And with that, I think that's it. What'd you think of this, Elliot? Pretty good race, I think.
Yeah, it was very clean, very exciting race, at least from my standpoint, and probably from the viewers as well. I will say some interesting points to take away from that was that podium from Brian Johnson being able to hold off J.R. Shepard for so long, surprisingly, and being able to extend that lead over the rest of the field. That podium, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, it might be a little hint of what we have coming out of Brian Johnson in the seasons to come, because, yeah, he has some great car control. The Street Stocks will definitely test that, and he showed some great mastery of this car tonight.
Yeah, as well as the effective use of the bump and run, as I will say.
Yes. The very effective use of the bumper. All right, with that, I think we're going to bring tonight's broadcast to a close. If you liked what you saw here tonight, well, the Sportsman Series will be here tomorrow for round number 3 with the Legends. That's going live at 7:15 Eastern. That'll be myself and Elliot joining me back up in the booth. Street Stocks, well, we'll be back next Friday, August 18th at 7:10 p.m. Eastern from Southern National Speedway. That'll be round number 8. So mark your calendars for that one. You won't want to miss it. Everything you've seen and heard here tonight was made possible by the Skidder Creek Motorsports Group, home to the Bootleg Racing League, the GT Racing League, Thunder Ridge Racing, the Virtua Grip Network, and more. For more information, visit them over at skiddercreek.com. This has been a production of BRL TV, a broadcasting service aimed at giving up-and-coming commentators and directors a place to get their feet wet in the world of sim race broadcasting. If you ever wonder if you have what it takes to broadcast live races, well, you can't do much worse than I am tonight, and this is your chance to get some experience with no pressure. If interested in getting in on the fun, visit us over at bootlegracingleague.com to find out how. Now, from all of us here on the BRL TV crew, myself, Matt Hoos, Elliot Lang, and Lowell Jewell, until next time, thanks for watching, and have a great night.
Good night, all.